Welcome to the YouTube channel called Akshay. Today we are going to learn a very important concept of Jetpack Compose called remember. This is very important and this is very much misunderstood. A lot of people don't understand correctly. So that is why we are going to learn this concept properly with all the examples today in two parts. One part is we understand what exactly the problem is and how the code actually looks like, right? How the code actually looks like. And another one, we are also going to understand what exactly is happening inside this function under the hood. This is what we are going to understand, right? So the very first part, let's quickly go to the code and see, like, if I simply create a variable called where show dialog is false, right? Show dialog is false, and using this show dialog variable, I am saying that if the dialog variable, if this variable value is true, then I am going to show the dialog, right? And if it is not true, and then I will not show the dialog. And what we are going to do over here, there is a confirm button. There is a confirm button, and on this confirm button, I'm just saying that toggle the value, right? Let's toggle the value, or let's say just make it false. Just make it false so that I don't want to show it. Just hide it. Just cancel this block, right? And let's say the by default value is, let's say, true. By default value is true, right? So if I run the code, so you can see exactly what is happening over here. Let's see. Now we go to the search. We'll click on this. The value is true. It comes on the screen. That is correct, because if the value is true, then show the alert dialog. That is correct. But if I am now clicking on this close button, nothing is happening, even though my show dialog value is changing, right? Even though nothing is happening. I'll show you one more thing over here. I'll show you one more thing. Whenever I am going to make it false, I'll run a println statement so that I can show you on the log as well that this value is really what is the current value of it, right? Let me run this thing and let's open our logcat. I hope everyone knows about the logcat. So we'll quickly see what exactly the logcat over here, what's the value of it. We go to the search bar, see. Now I'm clicking on the close button, the value is false. I'm clicking on the close button, the value is getting false. The value is false. Now my question to you is, if my value is false, then why it is not hiding? Why it is not hiding? Because listen to this very carefully, because the composable function is not recomposing. It's not recomposing again, and that's why the value is always true. Nothing is happening. Now what do you want? There is some kind of composition, some kind of compose internal has some kind of values, so we need to tell it that, hey, some kind of state, some kind of data has been changed, so please update my UI. See, so please update my UI. And that way it is telling me that you can't use a primitive data type. You can't just use any regular variable over here. You need to use some kind of state. What is the state? Let's say a mutable state of value true. If I say, right, that is something we need, kind of a state. State is nothing but, I'll quickly show you this as well. State is nothing but a wrapper to a value. That's all, nothing but, right? Now one more thing is happening over here. It is telling me that, hey, you can't use this directly. You need to use something called remember. You need to use something called remember. Now let's see. Remember, the spelling is wrong. R-E-M-E-M-B-E-R, remember, that's the value. And now everything is fine. Now there's one more thing. Either you can use simply a equals to value over here, or you can delegate it by using a by value. So you don't have to use any kind of dot value kind of thing because of the wrapper thing, right? Now let's quickly run the code and see what happens now. Right now, let my app is running. Now we go to the search thing over here. The default value is true, so that's why the dialog is coming over here. Now if I click on the close button, what is happening on the close button? The value is getting false. Now if I click on the close button, the value is going away. Now if I click on this again, the dialog is coming again. That's why. What does this mean? The recomposition is happening. Now if I remove this println statement over here, put it over here, and always see what is the show dialog value. If I take you to the logcat again, now see this thing. I go to the search bar. The default value of the show dialog is true. Let me zoom it also a little bit, right? You can see it over here. The default value is true. I closed it. Default value, now the value has been changed to false. I open it again. The value is true. I close it. The value is false. So now you can understand what does the remember is doing. Remember is helping you to maintain the state of the composable function, right? Now I hope you understand exactly the remember this block, and you will be able to use it properly. Now the second part of the video, we'll quickly go and understand this diagram as well, because we need to understand what does it happens under the hood. What happens under the hood, right? So I quickly show you over here. I quickly like go through this diagram as well. So there are variables we just see, right? Can't use direct variable. We need to wrap them under the remember. That's how it works. And then this whole diagram. We go over here. And also, there's one more thing. I'll quickly tell you one more thing. The remember also takes some keys also, because right now the remember is not changing it again and again. But when I say that something, if I give any kind of key over here, let's say whenever this changes, then you always have to execute, then you always have to run this line. So that's why I can give a key. N number of keys I can give. So if we see the diagram over here, remember what is the key. After that, it will check if the key has been changed or not. If it is not changed, then let's directly go to below and keep doing whatever you are doing. If the key has been changed, then check if the value has been changed or not. If that particular value has been changed, in our case, what is happening? If the show dialog value has been changed or not changed, this is what Compose internally go and check. Right now, what happens? It goes and update the slot table. Right now, if you don't know the slot table, it's completely fine. We have another video of the slot table, so you can understand over there as well. Right now over here, if there is a thing, right now you can understand. Just imagine slot table as an array, right? Just imagine as an array. Now, update value. If the key has been changed, please update the value. After that, we are going to check internally. The Compose is doing all these things. We are not going to do anything. The Compose is checking if the key is valid or not valid, if the slot is empty, if that array index is empty or not empty, if there is any kind of recalculation is required. What does this recalculation? Is there any kind of recalculation of this part is required or not required? Now, after the recalculation, they will be checking, do you need to update the new value in the slot table in that array or not? If you don't need to update that particular value in the slot table, you just skip the recomposition and just give me the older value. That is all. Then after it will check remember observable using some kind of life cycle. It will check. It has internally a function called onRemembered, right? It has an internal function of onRemembered. Based on that, it will tell you that do I need to give you the old value? See over here. Do I need to give you the old value or the new value? True, false, true, like rotation, right? So this is what this whole remember thing is. So now I am hoping that you have a pretty basic understanding of remember, how to write the code of it, what exactly is happening inside under the hood. And if you want to understand, in the next video, we'll be understanding more about remember savable as also, right? So what exactly the remember savable? In the next video, we are going to learn. So I hope you have enjoyed this thing. And also I'll quickly show you one more thing. So there is a thing called Masterclass Jetpack Compose we are having. So if you want to learn Jetpack Compose internally to the deep, you can just go to our this page, Android Engineers Masterclass Jetpack Compose. I'll put the link in the description section and the comment section as well, so that you can see like what all things we are going to cover. The classes are starting from this date, whatever it is written over here. And these are the things, 7 days class is there and all the new things are there. Navigation 3 and a lot of new things are there, right? So we are going to, it's completely based on certification. You can see the testimonials also of the previous students. So just enjoy learning, keep learning. And if you haven't subscribed us, so do subscribe, like this video. If you want to share us anything with us, please do comment. So yeah, see you next time.